Hello, Adolfo from Portainer here. In this demo, I'm going to show a complete use case of the edge compute features of our platform. Let's first take a look at the architecture that was designed for this environment. We have three macro components. The first one, core of the demo, the Portainer server that orchestrates the deployment of the edge stack and the business stack. 2. The edge stack composed of 5 different types of industrial PC devices. And 3. A business stack for processing the data that is collected by the industrial PC devices, composed of a MQTT broker, Telegraph, InfluxDB, and Grafana. Okay, so now I'm going to log into my Portainer server. Let's the full screen here and go into my Portainer server. This is the instance I have prepared for this demonstration. Right. So here we have this instance that is ready to receive the business stack and the edge devices that we're going to manage from here. The first thing I'm going to do is deploy the business stack. And the way I could do it is by adding a stack, be that by pasting a YAML file. In this case, I would be running this in Docker, so it would be a Docker compose file. I could upload it from my computer, associate it to a Git repository. But you know what? I decided to create a custom template. Custom templates are very powerful because here I can add whatever template I want. It can be used by anyone that has access to a Portainer, and it's customized to my needs or to my business needs, if you may. So I'll just use the custom template. I'm happy with the name for this template, or better said, for this deployment. Deploy the stack. It shouldn't take long. And here, this business stack is the one that holds the 4 business components I showed in the previous architecture. That, as you can see here, are Mosquito as the MQTT broker, Telegraph to capture the messages from Mosquito and send them to the Influx time series database here. And finally, Grafana. So the 4 components are here. And Grafana is going to capture and display the information that InfluxDB receives in these nice panels. Now, it's also important to mention that this is a customized stack. So not only am I deploying these containers, I have customized them for my needs, which is also very interesting because with Portainer, you have the ability to deploy these containers according to your business requirements. So as you can see, it's not the standard admin Grafana login. It's already predefined in my Docker Compose stack as a different user and a different password that I'm using for this demonstration. Okay, so if I go to browse, we'll also see a panel that has been pre-provisioned in this Grafana image. And I'm going to access this dashboard that has several layers of information. And the layers are an engineering layer, an operations layer. This one displays the readings from the industrial PC devices. And here I have 5 types of devices. One for humidity, the second one for power, third one for pressure, fourth one speed, and finally temperature. And the last layer is the architecture layer that you saw previously in the beginning of the demonstration. Right. Now, the devices here are actually emulated. They're virtual machines running on Proxmox that are emulating the industrial PCs. I have 15 per, let's say, function of device. 15 humidity devices, 15 power, pressure, speed, and temperature. So in all, we have 75 devices here. Right, so I'm going to start turning on these devices. And here, on the left-hand side of this panel, I have these buttons that I configured in Grafana that access these machines via webhooks and turn on and off these machines. So I'm going to start with humidity. And when I turn them on, they get, let's say, pre-provisioned in Portainer in the waiting room. What happens is that these virtual machines, or machines if you may, already have in their firmware the Portainer agent that is going to run a script that allows you to pre-provision these machines in Portainer. And the way I am identifying these machines is by using a Portainer Edge ID that is a combination of the function of the machine and the host name. So again, these machines boot with the Portainer agent already installed in the firmware. And once they boot, they just run this script on boot, on the first boot, and then they start showing up here in the waiting room, as you can see. See if we have the 15 humidity machines. There you go, the 15 industrial PCs ready to start sending information to my MQTT broker. Before I do that, it's important that we organize the way we add these devices to Portainer. The first thing we have to do is we have to tag them. So I'm going to create the 5 tags I need for each type of machine. So I have 5: humidity, power, pressure, speed, and temperature. And the 5 tags are here. So each machine is going to have its own tag, and the tags I have named them per function. Now I'm going to create the edge groups, and I'm going to follow the same naming convention. The name of the group is going to be based on the type of machine that is being tagged, with also the appropriate functionality. So in this case, humidity with humidity. Right, and as you can see, there aren't any machines yet associated to this group. Let me do this for the other groups. And very soon you will understand why it is important to organize and tag your machines or devices or endpoints or whatever you're managing via the edge compute technology appropriately. Speed, it's here, and finally temperature. So temperature. Okay, add edge group. So now I have my tags and my groups. What's going to happen here is that all these devices that are called humidity, I'm now going to associate them into the Portainer server. It takes a matter of seconds. It's very quick. You will notice that, okay, they're here living in Portainer. The heartbeats are syncing with the Portainer server. Very soon they're all going to go green. But these machines were thrown there without any identity, meaning they're not part of any group and they don't have tags. So I have to fix this in order to be able to make use of the edge compute functions that we have in Portainer. I'm going to go back to edge devices. As you can see, they're all nice and healthy with the proper heartbeat. And here I'm using the update tags button that is also in Grafana that I'm using to update these machines. Now, the method here used is similar to the ones used in the machines where I turn them on and off via webhooks, but in this case, I'm making use of Portainer's powerful API that I can use to integrate with external applications or third-party applications, like in this case, Grafana. So everything I do in the UI, I can do via the API, exactly the same. In this case, instead of manually going here and updating each of the machines, because they're like 15, they could be 100 or there could be 1,000. That would obviously take a long time. I just use the API and with this, I automate the process of updating the corresponding groups and tags of the humidity machines. I just click on update tags and these industrial PCs are going to get tagged very quickly and accordingly. There you go. So let's go into this one and see that, there you go. It's got the proper group and the proper tag. And if we're going to edge groups, you're going to see that these 50 machines have been automatically added to humidity. All right, so this is what's interesting about this feature. Once you have the proper tag onto the device, Portainer associates this tagged device into the group that you defined. Finally, what we're going to do is we're going to create a stack. The stack depends on the type of technology running on your device. If you have Docker or Docker Swarm, Kubernetes or Nomad, and this is what it's going to determine what type of stack you're going to use, or in case of Nomad, job script you're going to use. So for that, I'm going to actually use my Git repository where I am storing my stacks. They're running in this Git repository, and each stack is actually the sensor payload that is going to be deployed on these 15 devices. I'm going to call it humidity just for sake of keeping the consistent set of names in the humidity group. And I'm going to use credentials for my registry. The reason I'm using credentials is because the sensor software or container is stored in a private container registry. So here I show full functionality of how to associate stacks with edge groups and using a private container registry. When I click on deploy the stack, what is going to happen is that the stack is going to start being provisioned into the humidity sensors right away. And in the operations tab, you're going to see that, very quickly, this is actually very fast, the humidity sensors start showing up and their readings start being presented in the Grafana panel. Now, let's go into the Mosquito broker, the Mosquito server, the MQTT broker, and see that, yes, the humidity sensors are starting to send these messages. And Telegraph is sending these messages to the InfluxDB. And this is where Grafana pulls this information. There you go. Okay, let's do that for the other sensors. So I'm going to start turning on these sensors: power, pressure, speed, and temperature. And here in my Proxmox server, I see that they start powering on. They're going to go green very soon. Go. And they're going to go through the same boot process as the humidity sensors or humidity devices. I'm going to go to the waiting room. As we see here, we should have roughly 60 devices. Let's see. 56. There's 4 more to, let's say, wake up. Let me refresh this accordingly. 60. Okay. All of the other 60 devices are up and running. and they're talking to my Portainer server. I'm going to associate them. Very soon, they're going to show up in the edge devices list. As unassigned, I haven't updated the group and the tags to any of these devices. You see the heartbeat still being synced. It's already green now. All my devices are nice, up and running. So the minutes, and as you can see, they're not sending any information yet to the MQT broker. Let's confirm that here. The containers, mosquito. The only type of device that is sending information is humidity. I realized I haven't yet added the stats for the other sensors. So let's go and do this very quickly. Power. Repository here. This one. Hold. Power. Underscores. Dot. Yeah. All. With the proper credentials. Same thing for pressure. As you can see, it's in forward. It's actually quite fast. Pressure score sensor dot YAML. Use credentials. Okay. Speed. Everything for speed. Dot YAML. And finally, tell me. Oh, yes, you can see speed is showing up here already. Temperature, repository. What? Temperature underscore sensor YAML. Credentials. The total stock. Let's just look at temperature. Very soon, we're going to see data. Okay, the temperature is already sending data to the MQTT broker, and the measurements are showing up here for all the other devices plus temperature. Let's see. Let's go to containers, MQTT broker, and you can see all these sensors sending data to the broker, being captured by Telegraph and being displayed here in Grafana. So, engineering operations, or if you want, edge stack here being managed by Portainer, although in this case we also did the deployment of the custom template. And here in operations, which is the business stack, we can see sensors sending data to InfluxDB and being read properly by Grafana and displayed nicely here. Let's go again over the architecture. As I had mentioned, Portainer is orchestrating the deployment of the edge stack and the business stack all in one single interface, which took me no more than 20 minutes to demonstrate. In a normal environment, it would take probably less. And this is where Portainer is very powerful, allowing you to use its capabilities to enhance the deployment of your business requirements. And in this case, from the edge all the way to the business, showing the way to organize edge devices and the way to capture that with the components you need to get the information from those devices into a business-oriented stack here, in this case, the panels. It could have been also some other type of system also being orchestrated by Portainer, like a data mining system or a machine learning component or any other component that you need that you can containerize and deploy with Portainer. All right, I hope you enjoyed this demonstration. Thank you very much.